I greet you anywhere in the world you are watching this video, and I welcome you to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time and you like what we are doing here, kindly subscribe, like this video, turn on your notification bell so that you will be able to know when we upload a new video, and also it will enable YouTube to recommend our videos to you. And also watch this video to the end. So in today's video, like yesterday, I talked about and I asked a question: why do they hate Igbos? And I want to appreciate most of you who answered and responded to that question. Now, in today's video, we are going to be looking at the update of Nnamdi Kanu, our son that have sacrificed everything to make sure that he frees his people from suffering. You and I know that we cannot do what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. Most of us cannot do it. So let's take a look at the update. Stay tuned and watch this video to the end. I will be right back. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Direct on the Spot. I am your host, Sh0Ck. As you are aware, we are 9 days away from Nnamdi Kanu's court case. In fact, it will be a no-case submission to be decided by the justice himself, Justice Sh0Ck. And this is official countdown for 9 days to go to the July 18th. Definitely, it's going to be a very, very tough call, very, very tough decision, a very, very tough day. So wherever you're watching me around the world, I want you to fasten your seatbelts. Whether it is night in your area, whether it is day in your area, it doesn't matter. What that matters is that you are alive and you are healthy and you are getting the reward of whatever business and the work you are putting your hands into. Because for this video, we will be looking at the 4 possible outcomes on that no case submission judgment going to be given out by Justice James Sh0Ck. Because as we walk into the 18th of July, it could go anywhere, it could go anyhow. We are not 100% certain, but we are 100% hopeful on what we want to happen on that day. But be that as it may, that day is definitely going to be a victory for Biafrans, a victory for Igbos, a victory for Nnamdi Kanu already. Because as you have been seeing the case going, the witness, the masked witness, and the prosecution have failed to incriminate, have failed to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that Nnamdi Kanu is actually who they claim he is. So having said this, throughout this last week and a few days, we have been distracted by talks about negotiation from the part of the federal government. And you know that the family of Nnamdi Kanu had also come out to debunk that story. You know, it looks as if the federal government also suspects that this court case is not going to favor them. And they've been trying to see how they can smuggle in their head to snatch victory from Nnamdi Kanu, who we all know has already gotten victory by himself and by the help of God above. Just that they refuse to acknowledge the victory doesn't mean that he has not gotten the victory already. Like they always say, justice delayed is not justice denied. So I will add my own. Victory delayed is not victory denied. Whatever you're doing right now, it's time to stop it and focus on this video. Whatever you are cooking, whatever you are washing, whatever you are doing, just leave it and focus on this video. Or you can finish it up before you come back to this video. Because for this video, like I said, we are giving you 4 possible outcomes of July 18th, what to expect, the 4 possible outcomes that can happen on that day. It's very important that you know so that you channel your mind towards these outcomes and definitely will prepare ourselves for what to see on that day. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Turn on notification by clicking on that bell and select all to get notified for whenever we drop a video. So as you are aware, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the IPOB, is facing multiple terrorism-related charges filed by the federal government of Nigeria under the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. On April 17, 2022, Kanu's legal team entered a no-case submission, arguing that the prosecution had failed to establish a prima facie case requiring him to enter a defense. As the court reconvenes on July 18, 2025, several potential outcomes are on the table. This brief evaluates the four most critical likely scenarios. Number 1, a full success of the no-case submission, that is, a discharge and acquittal by the court. What is the legal basis for this? In Nigerian criminal jurisprudence, a no-case submission is anchored on the principle that the prosecution must first establish a prima facie case before the accused can be called upon to open a defense. Now, a prima facie case, as you all know, is proof beyond reasonable doubt that this act was done. That is what a prima facie case means. That there is something to prove. There is allegations which is obvious that nobody can deny that this thing exists, no matter how little, no matter how medium, or no matter how high. But let there be something defendable. Let's go on. The Supreme Court of Nigeria in Ajiboye versus State, 1995, held that a no-case submission is properly upheld where the evidence adduced by the prosecution is so manifestly unreliable or discredited that no reliable tribunal or judge will convict with it. Using this now in context, Nnamdi Kanu's defense team and lawyers, they argued that the prosecution failed to call credible witnesses linking Nnamdi Kanu personally to terrorist acts. Also, the defense also claimed that much of the evidence relates to his broadcasts while he was abroad, which should have been challenged under international law, not domestic terrorism status, of which Nnamdi Kanu has always been saying that whatever he did is in Britain, that Britain are the ones supposed to try him and not Nigeria. He has always said that. So it's in line. And also, the defense said that the extraordinary rendition from Kenya taints the trial process and violates Section 33, Section 1 of the 1999 Constitution, guaranteeing a fair hearing. So these were the arguments for the no-case submission as submitted by Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers. And definitely, Motosho is the one to decide if they hold merit or not. And perhaps if it succeeds, that means Nnamdi Kanu is going to be discharged and acquitted. So this is number 1 possible outcome: a full discharge and acquittal, and a yes to the no-case submission. Number 2, a partial success, which means some charges will be trashed while some will need to be defended by the defense. And that will make the trial to proceed. The trial will continue, but while some charges out of the 7 will be struck off. Then Omotosho may decide that there are 1 or 2 that he thinks the defense will need to also go ahead and defend. So number 2 possible outcome is that there is a partial success. Even if it's a partial success and Omotosho decides to strike out some cases and leave some, automatically the case is already dead. It's already dying. Because you can imagine when Omotosho strikes out terrorism charges and you are left with 1 or 2 illegal charges, end of the day, that will be a walk in the park. And that shows you that there is no way we are entering into the 18th of July and coming out the same. That's why I said in the beginning of this video that it's already going to be a success. Whatever happens on the 18th is going to be a success. Because we all know, me and you know, that Nnamdi Kanu is held on political basis, not on any terrorism charges. He is held because he's an Igbo man. But he also said that, okay, you want to carry me to court? Okay, I will still defeat you in the court. That's why we are talking legal now. Let us follow it the way Nnamdi Kanu wants to follow it. He wants to trash them in their court. since they want to make it legal, okay, fine, let's make it legal. As already you know that he has already defeated the federal government in 6 courts already. Number 3 possible outcome is this: a total failure of the no case submission, and the case will also continue where it stopped. This is an outcome that can never happen. So don't bother yourself about it happening. Don't bother yourself, because it's not possible that this no case submission is going to fail totally. It's not going to happen. Let me first of all say that before I read out for you. So that means, what is the reasoning behind it? The judge may hold that there is a prima facie case to defend, and he will call upon Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers to defend it. Now, in Okoro vs. State 1988, the Supreme Court noted, it is not the role of the court at the no case stage to evaluate credibility. Once some evidence exists that, if believed, supports the charges, then the matter proceeds. So what the Supreme Court is saying, that if there is anything to defend, it should be defended and the case should proceed, so long as there's a prima facie case. So it's not left for Motosho to find that prima facie case now that exists, because as long as I have been following this case and I have been broadcasting about this case, I have not seen a prima facie case that exists in this whole case. Except maybe there is another charges somewhere. I'm yet to see a prima facie case that exists in this whole trial, because the mass witnesses who I thought had an evidence to nail Nnamdi Kanu have failed to do this job so far. And he's been held, and if not for Motosho that accelerated this trial and made it a very, very speedy trial, Nnamdi Kanu would have spent another 3 years or 4 years in the dungeon doing nothing. Yet they say they want to convict him. Please, if you want to convict somebody, don't you go ahead and convict the person and let the person go to prison, at least in a year or 6 months. If you say you want to convict somebody, you use your evidence you have to convict the person. But when you start stalling a case, delaying a case, adjourning a case, going to your office and hiding, and the person is in the prison, languishing there, what does it mean? It means that you don't have a case. And we all are aware that there are a lot of people in the prisons who have been there for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, no trial. No trial, no evidence, nothing against them. You just dump them there. So you want to turn Nnamdi Kanu to such? You want to bring Nnamdi Kanu to that level of people that are languishing in the cell, that you can just dump them for years without trial, without prosecution? Nnamdi Kanu is not in that class of people that you will just dump in a cell and dungeon and leave. He has people that will speak for him. He has people that will fight for him. And even if he does not have anybody, he has God that will always stand for him. Because a man who is doing the right thing, God will always stand for the person. So this number 3 can never happen. So forget about it. This number 3 outcome, yes, it's an outcome, just in a normal possible outcome. But among these 4, number 3 can never happen. It's not possible that the judge will say that he will come at that the no case submission failed. Thereby, he has to defend all the 7 charges. This outcome, I don't see it happening at all. Let's go on. Number 4, political intervention. The Attorney General of the Federation has the constitutional power under Section 174 of the Constitution to discontinue criminal proceedings at any time before judgment through a null proseq. Additionally, Section 175 allows the President to grant a pardon or commute sentences under a certain conditions. So with growing international condemnation from the United Nations, from the AU, from the Amnesty, also with the Kenyan court ruling of February 2023 affirming Nnamdi Kanu's abduction, also with the pressure from regional groups and civil unrest in the southeast, the Nigerian state may opt for a political solution. So what is the implication of this political intervention? What means is that the case ends abruptly. The government will avoid a humiliating judicial defeat. So this is also a possible outcome that can happen in this case. The government may decide, okay, let us abide by court judgment and release this man, because there is existing court judgment on ground already. Negotiation has been ruled out. So any political solution should be an outright release from the cell. An outright release from the cell. Unconditional release from the cell before the day or on that day. Like what I said, the government may try to do it to avoid humiliation and defeat in the court, because the way it is going, it's obvious that they are heading to another defeat by Nnamdi Kanu. And maybe it has leaked to their table that this is going to be a win for Nnamdi Kanu. That is why they are running up and down to see how they can snatch this victory from him by any means possible. So don't be surprised the government look up tomorrow and say, Nnamdi Kanu, pack your load and go. Pack your load and go. It's because they've already seen that there is a defeat in the corner coming for them. So these are the 4 possible outcomes that may happen on the 18th of July. Watch out for 4 of them.
Just immediately after General Christopher Musa left Benue State, and I even heard that Tinubu went there as well, the Fulani armed bandits went there and gunned down 4 policemen. 4. And the nation is quiet. The world is quiet. Nobody is saying anything about it, because it is the Fulanis that came to gun down the policemen. Imagine this happened in the southeast. Do you know what they would have? They would have tagged it IPOB. They would have tagged it Nnamdi Kanu's boys or Simon Ekpa boys that came to unalive the 4 policemen. You know, we need to be saying these things so that the world will be, knowing what is going on. So now, I want to ask General Christopher Musa. I didn't see military tankers in Benue State. I did not see jet fighters in Benue State. I did not see rocket launchers in Benue State. I didn't see heavy military presence in Benue State, where we have this high, insecurity going on as we speak. Now, the problem is, you people know the problem, but you don't want to tackle the problem. You want to first of all defend your land where you have promised the IMF that you are going to use the mineral resources there to pay back the loan that you loaned from them. And that is why there are so many military presence in the southeast, where there is no insurgents, where there is no unaliving by the Nigerian, by the bandits, because, when the bandits comes into our territory, they know that they will never go back the same. Why are there so many military present in the southeast? Why don't you take this military presence to Benue State? And that is to show the world what we have been shouting, what Mazi Simon Ekpa has been shouting, that this military presence in the southeast is as a result of our mineral resources. The checkpoint is as a result of our mineral resources. Everything that you see the Nigerian government doing in the southeast today is as a result of our mineral resources. And that state is the most undeveloped in the whole of Nigeria. Watch this, Enugu, Onitsha, Aba, Imo, Owerri. All these places are underdeveloped. We do not have seaports. We do not have airports. We do not have any business in the southeast. And yet, we are more Nigerian than any Nigeria. So, Christopher Musa, I want this same military presence in the southeast to be in Benue State. Benue State needs you, need them the most, not we. We, the Easterners, doesn't need them. We don't need them. We, the Southeasterners, doesn't need this heavy security presence in our land. Remove them. Now, if the president can leave a state and that same day 4 policemen were gunned down, what does that tell you? It tells you that Tinubu is not supposed to be your president. That tells you that Tinubu is never meant to be in that position. Why? Because the Northerners brought him in, and they promised Tinubu 2 things. You must tell us that Nnamdi Kanu must never be released. You must turn a blind eye when our people is land grabbing. And that is what is happening in Nigeria today. That is why Tinubu is turning a blind eye to all these insurgents happening everywhere in Nigeria. Our land is being overrun by Fulani jihadists. Christopher Musa knows all these things. Bianco Olowu knows all these things. Tinubu knows all these things. But yet, their greed is what they are fighting for. Just how to continue with this, their evil contraction called Nigeria. I want to ask you people one question, the lovers of Nigeria. Please tell me one thing as in Nigeria that you are proud of. Tell me one thing. Write it on my comment. Tell me one thing as in Nigeria that you are proud of. All of you were asleep when they announced the results of the general election in 2023. You were asleep at around 3:34 a.m. That was when the result was announced. And people woke up to this shocking news. Can you see how ibiribirism that you can be? And when Biafrans are talking, you are the first person to start writing because you can write. It never reach you. Nigeria has not happened to you. That's why you are still writing. Oh, boy, you can't write anymore. I'm telling you people the truth. You'll be calling these saviors, Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. But the game changer will be back very soon. He will be back very soon. I'm telling you. This month, there will be a game changer in the whole liberation. The fallback people, you can continue to fall back. You can continue to fall back. We are not begging you not to fall back. Continue to fall back. And may God bless you guys. May God bless Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Oraboeze. May God bless our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. I say, Sh0Ck Of Ekpa, because you know in whatever you have been doing and doing for us. Thank you.
Thank you for staying tuned. Now that you have finished watching, listening, and hearing the points our brothers pointed out about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa, I will allow you to take decision by yourself in the comment section. Let's interact and keep on watching Linda